Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome to my channel. Welcome again. Welcome to Jenkenny's Creation. Good to see you again. So today I'll be talking about a very important point regarding the course you choose to study. Okay, so before you do everything in life, there are determining factors. You don't just go and do things. There is a reason. So I would say when choosing a course to study in Australia or as an international student to any country, okay, be it Australia, Canada, UK, US, Ireland, anyway, okay, there are things that determine what you do. Okay, all right. So before I dive into this, I want to mention reasons why people travel to study abroad. Okay, and people travel to study abroad for so many reasons, but I'm going to talk about only two. The first one being that you have the money, you have the cash, or your family can afford it, or your company is sending you to study, or your school in your home country is sending you to go and study, acquire knowledge and come back, or you think you have a better opportunity when you study abroad and come back home. Then your main reason for traveling is solely to travel, study, and go back to your home country. Okay, so if this is your reason, then this video is not for you. But the second reason why people, which is the most obvious one, is that people travel abroad to study as a sort of economic migration. They just want to go to this country and settle. They migrate through student visa, that is studying in that country. Okay, so if this is your reason why you want to travel to Australia to study or travel to any country to study, then you have to sit back and watch this video till the end. All right, okay, so when I say you have to be intentional, now the question is this: how do I settle? The first movement is to get your student visa. Yes, it's obvious. Now I just want to say that everybody that wants to migrate to any country or that is living in every country as a migrant at some point want to be a permanent resident. This is a status that when you acquire, you know that you have settled. So once you have your permanent resident visa, you know that you have settled. So you enjoy all the privileges of a citizen of that country. So you becoming a citizen is by your choice, whether you want to go for it or you just want to be a permanent resident. But that is the target of everyone that is living in a foreign country. Okay, now the question is this: if I were you, I will be checking the requirement for becoming a permanent resident of that country, for example of Australia. Okay, now I know some people will say it's too early, why am I rushing to check? But that is your intention. Okay, would you want a situation when after studying you're working or you don't get a job, or if it happen that you get a job in that skills, in that course you have studied, okay, you get a job after studying, but you remain in temporary residence? So you can never, because there is no pathway for you again to achieve your permanent residence. It means that you'll be stranded. You'll be heartbroken because all your effort is futile. Okay, so the intention here is to settle as a permanent resident. Then how do I settle? So I know at this stage you are going for visa 500, which is student visa. Okay, get admission, get student visa, migrate, after study you settle. Then how do I get permanent resident? So each immigration service, each country has a body that does all their immigration process, and in their website you will see all this information. For example, for us here in Australia, our Home Affairs, Department of Home Affairs handles everything. I will put a link under this video to these visa types of visas and everything, and to the site Home Affairs website. So for Australia, I'll be using Australia to give you an example. Okay, so in Australia, permanent resident status has requirements, permanent resident visa. Okay, so now when you check the requirements, you will find out they will tell you, for example, visa 485, visa 487, visa 498. Oh, there's so many visas. They will tell you that you will be able to get permanent resident if you have had these visas. Okay, so this means that when you finish studying, if you're able to get these visas, then you can apply for permanent resident, depending on how many years you have to work and go for it. Now, there are also visas, permanent resident that is offshore, that you can be outside of Australia to acquire. That one is not, I'm not talking about it, because now you are coming into this country to study, in that country to study. So you won't be applying for your permanent resident offshore, because you will be studying here. After studying, you get a job, then you apply for permanent resident. So this will be the type of permanent resident pathway you will be looking at. Okay, so you will see different types. Then when you open them up, you will see their requirements. Now, for Australia, which is also applicable to Canada and other countries, there is what is called the list of occupation, the skills occupation. Okay, so for Australia, so there is a list in this website. So this list contains all the professions that if you have, or if you are in, you will be able to apply for permanent resident. Do you see that? So remember, you are coming through skills. You are studying to acquire skill, a particular, be a graduate or have higher qualification on that skills, and work on that in that field, in that profession. Then go for your skill permanent resident. Okay, visa. Now, so when you check the course you want to study, go there. For example, if you want to study electrical engineering, so when you go to the list of occupation, electrical engineering is there as of today. I'm using this as an example. Then you check what type of, like, what do they require for an electrical engineer. So you find out that you will be registered. For you to be assessed for permanent residence, you will be registered, be a registered member of Electrical Engineering Association of Australia. I don't know their name, but before you can do that, if I were you, I will click on that link, because they will give you the assessing body. So this Electrical Engineering Association of Australia, for example, they will give you a link in that immigration website to go there. So when you click there directly, it will take you to a page that will tell you their requirement for assessment. They will tell you, for example, an electrical engineer, for them to assess you and register you and say that you are qualified, okay, to be electrical engineer, an electrical engineer in Australia. They will tell you that you have to, for example, work for do this kind of duties. Do you understand? For this how many years? Okay, fine. Now you can go ahead and study and know that you will meet up the requirements. Okay, this is applicable. For example, in nursing, some people are still talking about nursing, social work, doctors. For doctors as well, for you to get a permanent resident, you have to be registered, a full registered member of Medical Association of Australia. Then click and find out the requirements for full registration. Do you see that kind of a thing? Now you want to come and study nursing. You can come here, study nursing, and you get stranded if you don't follow a good pathway to get permanent resident. So the pathway is this: when you finish studying nursing, when you go to the skill list, you'll find out that even though nursing is there, there are different types of nursing. So this will decide after your graduation, where do you get a job? Because you have a future you are planning, you are intentional. The main target here is to get permanent residence. Okay, so you make sure you get a job in that field. For example, if they want something like aged care nursing, neonatal nursing, mental health nursing, you know, that kind of a thing. So whatever list, if you come here, you study teaching, maybe secondary school teaching, they will give you a list. Maybe they want someone that studied English teacher, science teacher, farming, agricultural teacher, that kind of a thing. So you make sure that what you are concentrating to study in that course that will fetch your permanent resident. So this is like, I am intentional in what I want to do. I want to make sure that the ground for me to step to this level is clear. I don't want to have a hiccup along the line. So I will comfortably tell you that for you to choose a course, find out, will this course I want to study lead me to permanent residence? Is very important. As long as you want to go and settle in this country, you want to study, work, and settle. But if you just want to study and go home, fine. You don't need to stress about this, okay? So the link I will add below will lead you to Australian immigration website and will lead you to permanent resident, different type of visa. Click on permanent resident visa. You will see different type of permanent resident visa. Then I want you to go to the list of occupation is in alphabetical order. So you can search from the alphabet of the for example, you want to study accounting, you'll see the A start from A, then you'll go. If you want to study pharmacy, you click P, you search from P, or you start the occupational. Just find out. They will give you assessing body. So the body, there are some occupations that don't need assessing body. So assessing body is like the organization, the society, or the governing body of that very occupation, that very profession. So they have their criteria for assessment. You must meet that criteria before they will assess you and you become a member, okay? So these are the things you have to consider. So don't just say, I want to go and study. Yeah, you can change courses. Even though that when you're applying for universities, for example, in Australia, you have to write a statement to justify that your intention to come and study, your intention to migrate as an international student is solely to come and study and go back. You write that statement, okay? But you must be intentional. You must prove them at that point that I am coming to study and go back. But how many people do that? Study and go back? So you know what you are going for. Then plan it, make your pathway clear. Find out, is this course I'm going to study in the list of occupation that will give me permanent residence? Okay? Is it in the list of occupation that will give me a job, temporary residence? Because when you finish studying in Australia, you will get visa 485. So that's got graduate work visa. Okay? This visa will stay for like 2 to 4 years. It will allow you to still study or work in Australia, like it's a temporary visa. Okay, then after that, then you can get another bridging visa, then apply for your permanent resident. It depending on how much you waited before you get a job, because visa expires. But there is a pathway, and this pathway must be a pathway that is leading you to a permanent resident. So what do? You start searching from there. What are the list of these occupations? Find out the one you intend to. If not, you can change your mind. Okay. And another thing you have to consider again when choosing a course is, how many years do I study this course? If it's my master's, is it for 2 years? Is it for 3 years? Is it for 1.5 years? If it's a undergraduate, is it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Because you are looking at age. So when you click on permanent resident, they will tell you, some will tell you, you must be under 50 years. You must be under 45 years, depending on which type of permanent resident or temporary resident. So you must consider age. So between husband and wife, you will find out who is younger to be the main applicant. This kind of a thing. These are the decisions you make. Who is going for study? Is it me or my wife, or is it my wife or me? That kind of a thing. So you have to decide, or my child as well. That kind of a thing. So a child can as well migrate and bring everybody in. So that kind of a decision you have to make. For a student visa anyway, you have to be under 50 to go for it. Then you ask yourself, if I am like 45 and I study 3 years, then I am like 49, that kind of a thing. So I am closer to that. So the closer you are to 50, the more difficult it will be for you to have any visa in Australia. And that is applicable to other countries. So you decide in your family who will be the primary applicants in this visa pathway. Okay. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of today's information section. If you have any question, please ask me on the comment section. I will answer you promptly. Yeah, another thing is for you to subscribe to my channel, like my video if it makes sense to you, and if you want to get more information from me regarding Australian migration, and maybe also information that will help you if you want to migrate to other country, please subscribe to my channel. More is coming. Okay, thank you. Stay blessed. Bye. See you in the next video.